It's always my hope that what happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else. My name is James Yee. I'm the former U.S. Army Muslim chaplain that served in Guantanamo Bay in 2002 and 2003. I'm a graduate of West Point, and during my time serving as a chaplain down at Guantanamo, after raising concerns about prisoner treatment with regard to abuses and torture, the military came after me and decided to try and prosecute me for what they considered was aiding the enemy. And I was put in jail. I was held in solitary confinement for 76 days while the U.S. military attempted to court-martial me. But in the end, all of the accusations and charges that they brought against me were dropped. I was reinstated, and then after that, I resigned my commission from the U.S. military, receiving an honorable discharge. But what I experienced in Guantanamo with regard to serving as the prison chaplain at this Navy base, and seeing how prisoners were abused, and then also being subjected to the military legal system myself as a defendant, an American officer as a defendant in this military justice system, being falsely accused had an impact on my life. Initially, it shook my confidence in the leadership in the U.S. military while I was serving, and even shortly after I separated from the military. But it also was traumatic to the extent that that I experienced the horrific abuses that one experiences when they're locked up in solitary confinement and accused of what might be considered the worst crimes as someone in the military. I was initially accused of spying, espionage, aiding the enemy, mutiny and sedition, and these are all, under military law, capital crimes that you can be put to death for. Right? So this was very traumatic to me, being falsely accused. And in the end, after I left the U.S. military and sought mental health care through the VA medical healthcare system, was eventually diagnosed with post-traumatic stress and given a service-connected disability rating of 100%. And so I deal with those issues today. And one of the things that I do to deal with many of the issues that I experience is to engage myself in art. I've joined a veterans art program called Frontline Paper, in which we as veterans make handmade paper out of our old military uniforms, and then we use that paper to create art that by and large reflects things that we experienced in the U.S. military. So when I initially got out of the military, I was very adamant about championing the rights of prisoners at Guantanamo, human rights, as well as seeking justice for how I was treated in the military, civil liberties. And I also was very engaged in promoting diversity, religious diversity, equality, and tolerance, because this was in the post 9/11 aftermath, and during that time there was a growth of Islamophobia, which interestingly enough seems to be more on a roller coaster path where it rises and then subsides and then rises again and then subsides. And if you look at the world events today, you see a lot of that has affected the Islamophobia that is occurring because of what's going on in the Middle East.